remember about 25 years ago, we all were hearing about EPSM, equine polysaccharide storage myopathy. Nowadays, they call it PSSM, polysaccharide storage myopathy. The EPSM, or today PSSM, there's two different forms, PSSM1 and PSSM2. Polysaccharide storage myopathy, in layman's terms, means simply that there's dysfunction within how the carbs are stored within the body. So carbs are metabolized into glucose. Glucose is used for energy within the cells. Any excess is going to be stored in the liver and the muscle cells as glycogen. If there is some, and then that is also going to be used for energy. If there's some disruption in this process, that is referred to as EPSM or PSSM. The difference between PSSM 1 and 2 is that the 1 is caused by a genetic factor. There's actually a gene that regulates for this. And PSSM2 is not related to the genetic code, and they don't really know the cause, but it's going to have the same symptoms, often the same kind of treatment and the same kind of prevention. So the symptoms in these conditions are going to be related to how the horse is storing the glycogen. There's going to be a lack of that energy. So that glycogen or glucose that was going to be used for energy is not going to be available in the proper way that it should have been. And there's going to be a lack of energy, a lack of muscle building in the horse's body. So oftentimes we see horses that are reluctant to move. They're reluctant to get up once they're laying down. They tie up. They have very, very firm muscles, much firmer than they should be. You know, muscles should be nice and soft and pliable. But if you have a horse that you're massaging, for example, and the muscles are just really, really rigid and firm, that can be one symptom of PSSM. Other symptoms, there's such a wide variety of symptoms that go along with this condition that you would not even think would be related. Laminitis, colics, loss of condition, crustiness on the neck, abnormal deposits throughout the body. There's just a whole wide range, colic, of symptoms that can be seen with PSSM1 or PSSM2. So when these two conditions are diagnosed, PSSM1, as I say, was a genetic caused by a gene, and that one can be diagnosed with a blood or hair sample. The PSSM2, which does not have the genetic factor, has to have a muscle biopsy. And they're looking for damage in that tissue. So, or the glycogen level and the damage in the tissue. So, rather than having a muscle biopsy done, what you can do if you suspect these conditions is you can simply feed for it. Again, and we're going to be feeding the exact same way that we fed for Cushing's. The only difference is going to be we're going to be providing more fat for the horse. So something, you know, when this first came out, what they were recommending was feeding like cups, multiple cups of vegetable oil, or you know, corn oil and things like that. Now in the nutrition course you're going to learn that oil is not the best choice, but it's all about giving the horse the fat that he is depleted of. He's not able to produce the same way that he was before this condition. So you want to be feeding a really high protein, high fat, low NSC, non-structural carbs, low sugar, low starch, that's what non-structural carbs are, and exercising the horse. So you have the exact same preventative measures in the diet that you had for Cushing's, and the exact same preventative measures that you had for keeping a senior horse healthy. So it's all about really using the best products throughout the horse's life. And I highly recommend Dynamite for these horses, because we have had Cushing's horses and EPSM horses that have done absolutely phenomenally on the TNT, which is their total nutritional treatment, and Hess pellets. And then they are on the regular Dynamite, daily Dynamite vitamin and mineral. The TNT includes the regular daily Dynamite vitamin and minerals, so that one is just inclusive. But anyway, there's a couple ways you can go with that if you decide to go with Dynamite. But otherwise, there's other good lines out there too. But you want to stay away from the high sugar, high carbs, high, no molasses feed, no heavy grain meals, when you look at some of the grain products out there that are really nice and clean, like let's say Crypto Arrow. Crypto Arrow is an excellent clean feed, but its base is whole oats. It's whole oats, black oil sunflower seeds, alfalfa pellets, timothy pellets, green peas, rose hips, and some other herbs. It's a very, very nice clean feed, and people look at it and they think, oh my God, it's got 28 non-structural carb level. 28 is very high, and so they immediately think, I can't be feeding a 28 NSC product to my horse. Well, if you're only feeding 1 cup of the product or 2 cups, like these guys get 2 cups a day, they actually all summer long they all had 4 to 5 cups a day, because their weight was down quite a bit from what they gain weight on hay here. They can be out on free choice pasture every day of the week and they will not gain, but as soon as they go on hay, they blimp up. And so they were on 4 to 5 cups of Crypto Arrow and my own mix also, which is kind of similar to Crypto, but I add different herbs. They were on that all summer long and looked fantastic. And now that they're gaining because of the hay that they have to have in our cold climate, I cut back the Crypto Arrow to just 2 cups. And then they get their Dynamite vitamin mineral product in the Crypto Arrow. So anyway, there's options out there for you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Dr. Angelique or myself. And we will answer your questions. So